Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will talk about the unfolding mysteries and intense drama on General Hospital. From long-buried secrets to shocking revelations, there's a lot to cover in the latest developments of Port Charles. So, let's dive right in and unpack what's coming next. The dramatic search for Valentine and Charlotte Cassadine is heating up. General Hospital fans are eagerly awaiting to see how this storyline unfolds. As Anna Devane, Jason Morgan, and Carly Spencer team up to uncover Valentine's whereabouts, the pressure is mounting. The trio will attempt to extract information from Jack Brennan, but will their efforts succeed? The location of Valentine and Charlotte is crucial, but the trio's mission could hit several snags before they get the answers they need. If Valentine and Charlotte are located, it could mark a turning point in multiple storylines, but there's no guarantee that things will go smoothly for our heroes. As obstacles continue to pile up, the fate of Valentine and Charlotte remains uncertain. Will they finally be found, or will the mystery deepen even further? Meanwhile, an intriguing secret is unfolding involving Brooke Lynn Quartermaine. She's carrying the weight of a monumental secret that is sure to shake things up in Port Charles once it's revealed. Brooke Lynn is hiding something from Harrison Chase, and it's clear that this secret relates to her past. Specifically, she gave up her firstborn child for adoption, a truth she has kept under wraps for a long time. Chase, who believes they are experiencing parenthood together for the first time, is in for a shock when he learns that this isn't the full truth. But even Brooke Lynn doesn't know the whole story. GH writers have cleverly dropped hints that Giovanni Gio Palmieri, whom Brooke Lynn has encountered before, could be her long-lost child. It's Lois Cerullo who seems to have all the details about the adoption, and it's only a matter of time before she reveals Joe's true parentage. The revelation of this secret could have far-reaching implications, especially as Brooke Lynn struggles with the burden of her past choices. Shifting gears, we turn to the tense and increasingly personal feud between Rick Lansing and Sonny Corinthos. The ongoing drama between these two men has reached a boiling point, with Rick's actions on the stand regarding Christina Corinthos Davis stirring up tensions. Rick has done everything to rile up Sonny, and now, it seems a confrontation between the half-brothers may be imminent. Rick's treatment of Christina on the witness stand was provocative, and Sonny isn't one to back down when his family is at stake. Expect to see sparks fly as these two men, whose rivalry has been simmering for years, come head-to-head. Will Sonny throw around some threats? Will Rick retaliate? Either way, it's clear that this tension will escalate before it's resolved, and fans are anxiously waiting to see how the battle between these two plays out. Over with Christina, her story seems poised for a dramatic twist as well. Her ongoing desire for vengeance against Ava Jerome is taking over her life, and it appears she's not ready to let go of her anger anytime soon. Molly Lansing Davis had hoped that Christina would eventually come to terms with the fact that the baby's death was an accident, but Christina is steadfast in her belief that Ava must pay for what happened. Despite Molly's best efforts to make her sister see reason, Christina's resolve is only strengthening. This sets the stage for more conflict, as Christina continues to dig her heels in deeper. Will she ever reconcile with the truth, or will she let her thirst for revenge control her actions? This storyline is far from over, and Christina's obsession with justice, or vengeance, is bound to cause more trouble in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, Lulu Spencer is still coming to grips with everything she missed while in her coma. The complexities of life in Port Charles haven't slowed down, and Lulu's journey back into reality promises to be full of surprises. Maxie Jones will play a key role in helping Lulu process everything that's happened. As the two reconnect and catch up, Lulu will lean on Maxie for emotional support. This could be just the kind of friendship Lulu needs as she navigates her complicated feelings regarding Dante Falconeri. Lulu still has unresolved emotions when it comes to Dante, and Maxie's honest perspective will help her sort through the messy feelings she has about their relationship. But even as Lulu continues to come to terms with the past, it's clear that she won't find a quick resolution to her emotional journey. Maxie's return will offer Lulu much-needed guidance, but it's still unclear where Lulu's heart will ultimately lie. As for the larger mystery surrounding Sam McCall's overdose, fans are beginning to see the first glimmers of resolution. Elizabeth Baldwin has vowed to get answers about who is responsible for Sam's tragic death, and while we're still in the early stages of this investigation, there's one potential culprit who stands out, Cyrus Renaud. Could he be the mastermind behind the Digitalis overdose that nearly claimed Sam's life? We'll have to wait and see, but the theory that Cyrus is involved is gaining traction. With Elizabeth determined to uncover the truth, the mystery may start to unravel soon. The revelation of Cyrus' motives could shed light on his involvement, and fans are eager to learn more about how this storyline will develop. Elizabeth's pursuit of justice could lead to explosive consequences as she digs deeper into the conspiracy surrounding Sam's death. The twists and turns in this investigation are far from over. Lucas Jones is undoubtedly going through a major transformation since his return to Port Charles. After being away for several years following his painful divorce from Brad Cooper, Lucas has come back with a renewed focus on his career. He's taken up a position on the surgical staff at General Hospital, a role that seems to be both a fresh start and a reminder of his complicated past. However, things are far from simple for Lucas. Brad, now working at the hospital as well, also returns to the same staff thanks to Dr. Terry Randolph. Yet, Lucas has made it explicitly clear that there will be no personal contact between him and Brad, and their relationship must remain strictly professional. This creates an interesting dynamic, given their shared history and the unresolved feelings between them. But Lucas's life takes an even more intense turn when he is thrust into a life-or-death situation involving his half-sister, Sam McCall. Sam needs a liver transplant, and to everyone's surprise, it turns out that Lucas is a match for her. This unexpected development leads to a significant moment where Lucas must perform surgery on his own sister, a situation that brings up intense feelings for him. Initially hesitant about performing the surgery, Lucas eventually agrees after Sam signs off on it. But despite his professional skill, the unthinkable happens. After the surgery appears to go well, tragedy strikes when Sam dies in recovery. Lucas is left devastated, feeling that he may have been responsible for her death. The guilt he feels is overwhelming, and this tragedy impacts him deeply, shaping his emotional and mental state moving forward. The aftermath of Sam's death is nothing short of heartbreaking for Lucas. In the emotional chaos that follows, Sam's son, Danny Morgan, directs his anger at Lucas, blaming him for his mother's death. The young boy's outburst, filled with raw emotion, leaves Lucas even more shaken and guilt-ridden. Unable to attend Sam's funeral because of the emotional weight he's carrying, Lucas feels as though he's failed his family in an unforgivable way. However, the truth eventually comes to light when the autopsy results reveal that Sam did not die from a surgical error but from complications unrelated to Lucas's procedure. This revelation should have been a relief, but it doesn't erase the guilt Lucas feels. Even though he's cleared professionally, the emotional toll of losing his sister remains, and the trauma of the situation continues to haunt him. Despite the medical truth, Lucas is still wrestling with profound self-blame. He is consumed by guilt, struggling to accept that the tragic event wasn't his fault. And as much as he tries to cope with this pain, he hasn't truly allowed himself to mourn the loss of Sam. Enter Brad, Lucas's ex-husband, who may be the unexpected person who can help him navigate this emotional turmoil. Though their marriage ended in divorce, Brad may be the only one capable of reaching Lucas during this dark time. Their deep, complicated connection means that Brad can talk to Lucas in a way no one else can. As much as Lucas pushes him away, Brad knows exactly how to break through the emotional wall Lucas has built up. It's possible that Brad, with his own brand of compassion and understanding, might be the key to helping Lucas process his grief and guilt. In a moment of vulnerability, Lucas could find himself breaking down, possibly even in Brad's arms. This emotional breakdown could also open up the possibility for reconciliation. Could this painful situation lead Lucas to reconsider his stance on Brad and open the door to a second chance? Could Brad's support, his patience, and his unwavering presence convince Lucas that they could start over? These questions linger, adding more layers to an already complex relationship. Lucas's journey of healing may well intertwine with his complicated feelings for Brad. If Brad can help Lucas see that he isn't responsible for Sam's death and encourage him to finally grieve, it could pave the way for healing not only for Lucas but potentially for their fractured relationship as well. Ultimately, the question remains, did Lucas truly cause Sam's death? Was it his fault, or was this a tragic accident that no one could have predicted? Can Lucas ever fully mourn his sister and heal from the emotional scars left by her passing? And, most importantly, will Brad play a role in helping Lucas overcome this emotional storm? These are the questions that will continue to unfold, offering fans an emotional rollercoaster as they watch Lucas grapple with grief, guilt, and possibly a path toward redemption. The relationship between Sonny and Christina Corinthos has reached a major turning point. The intense father-daughter bond they share has always had underlying tension, particularly when it comes to the world of organized crime. Over the years, fans have speculated about whether Christina could eventually step into Sonny's shoes and take over his mafia empire. In recent episodes, however, it seems that this possibility is becoming more and more real. While Christina has struggled with her emotions, especially during the courtroom drama in which her half-brother Rick verbally attacked her, she found solace in a most unexpected way, through the wisdom and guidance of her father. Sonny Corinthos, the powerful and enigmatic mob boss, has never been one to wear his emotions on his sleeve. His strategic mind and composed demeanor have helped him rise to the top of the criminal underworld. While viewers have occasionally seen Sonny's more volatile side, particularly when he's off his bipolar medication, he is typically known for his ability to stay cool, calm, and collected in the face of adversity. This is a trait he has passed down to his children, whether they recognize it or not. In this landmark scene with Christina, Sonny offers a lesson in emotional control, one that reflects both his experience and his unspoken bond with his daughter. When Christina is overwhelmed with a need for vengeance against Ava Jerome, Sonny doesn't shy away from her emotions. Instead, he embraces them and helps her channel her anger in a way that will empower her. In a particularly touching yet chilling moment, Sonny tells Christina that while revenge is often an unwise path, it is a powerful motivator, one that can help her stay focused in difficult times. Christina admits that her thirst for revenge against Ava is what has been keeping her going, providing her with the strength to face each day. Sonny, understanding this raw need for justice, tells her, the desire for revenge and thirst for justice is a hell of a motivator. But if that is what's gonna keep your head above water, I'm not gonna tell you to move away from it. In an even more intense exchange, he lowers his voice to a whisper, advising Christina to embrace her anger rather than suppress it. This moment of connection between father and daughter is both powerful and unsettling, as it highlights the darkness that lurks within both of them. It's a pivotal moment for Christina, who, up until this point, had been anxious and uncertain about her emotions. The physical similarities between Sonny and Christina in this scene are striking. Their eyes locked, their hair pulled back in a similar style. Christina, in that moment, almost appears as a mirror image of her father. This was a profound moment of realization for Christina, as she truly begins to see the ways in which she's becoming more like Sonny. His pride in her is palpable as he tells her that he is proud of her strength and ability to stand up for herself. It's a moment of growth for Christina, as she starts to embrace her own power and the ruthless nature of her father's world. As the conversation deepens, Christina asks what will happen if Ava is not found guilty in her trial. Sonny's response is chilling but undeniably clear. He promises that if the legal system fails Christina, he will not. He will take matters into his own hands and ensure that Ava pays for what she has done. The implication that Sonny will send Ava to sleep with the fishes shows just how far he's willing to go to protect his daughter and ensure her sense of justice is satisfied. Sonny's willingness to go to these extremes shows how far he is willing to go for his family, even if it means engaging in violence and criminal activity. However, it's important to remember that despite his criminal background, Sonny is not your typical mob boss. His strict moral code, especially regarding the types of crime he allows in Port Charles, sets him apart from other ruthless criminals. Sonny runs a tight ship, with a strict policy of no drugs, no prostitution, and no illegal firearms in his operations. He may operate within the criminal world, but he maintains a sense of order and stability in Port Charles that helps to keep the worst elements at bay. His unique brand of protection and his personal philosophy of power, justice, and vengeance are clearly things he is passing on to Christina as she finds her place in his world. By the end of their conversation, Christina's transformation is complete. She has shed her anxiety and hesitations, replacing them with a newfound sense of calm and focus. Sonny has helped her channel her anger and use it as a tool for empowerment. His influence has shaped her, and it's clear that Christina is no longer just the worried and emotional daughter. She is beginning to embrace the darker side of her father's legacy. Sonny even suggests that Christina work for his coffee company, a subtle yet telling indication that he sees her as a future leader in his empire. But, Given the nature of their conversation and the underlying tension, it's not hard to imagine that Christina will soon be working in Sonny's more illicit enterprises, further entwining her fate with his criminal legacy. The future of Christina and Sonny's relationship is now deeply tied to the dangerous and complex world Sonny has built. Whether or not Christina follows in his exact footsteps, it's clear that she is embracing her father's teachings and preparing herself for the kind of life Sonny has lived. She may not yet know how deep she will go into the world of organized crime, but it's obvious that she has the tools, the mindset, and the drive to become a formidable figure in her own right. Lulu Spencer's return to Port Charles has been nothing short of dramatic. After being in a coma for a long period, it wasn't just a simple waking moment for the fiery daughter of Luke and Laura. Far from the conventional waking up in a hospital bed, Lulu's first action as she regained consciousness was to feign being comatose, which gave her the perfect opportunity to escape from the hospital. She made her getaway in true Lulu fashion, disguising herself in a stolen nurse's uniform and setting off a fire alarm to cover her tracks. This quick thinking not only highlighted Lulu's resourcefulness but also signaled her desire to regain control of her life. It's clear from the very beginning that Lulu would not return as the same person who entered that coma. The experiences she has had and the world she is now waking up to are far from the one she remembers. In an interview with Soap Opera Digest, Alexa Havens, the actress who portrays Lulu, opened up about the overwhelming nature of her character's awakening. Havens described Lulu's return as one where she feels like a woman out of time. Lulu's last memory was of the explosion at the Floating Rib, and she vividly recalled Dante Falconeri breaking the heartbreaking news of her boyfriend Dustin's death. But that was just the start of her disorienting journey. After realizing the magnitude of how much time has passed, Lulu found herself grappling with the shock of what was no longer familiar. Her house was completely transformed, furnished in a way she couldn't comprehend, and when she saw her son Rocco towering over her, it was like she had been transported into another life, one that she hadn't even had the chance to experience. Havens painted a picture of a woman plunged into a world that's been completely restructured in her absence. Everything is different. She's completely overwhelmed, Havens explained. Lulu's emotional turmoil is not just about trying to reconnect with the people she once loved, it's about reconciling with a world that has changed in ways she never anticipated. She finds herself thrust into a reality she didn't prepare for. Everything she thought she knew is now distant and foreign. Havens compared this feeling to jumping onto a moving train without knowing where it's headed, a metaphor that perfectly encapsulates Lulu's disorientation. There is no time for Lulu to sit and process these changes, yet she is forced to absorb it all as quickly as she can. One of the key moments in Lulu's return was her visit to her home, or, rather, what used to be her home. This experience served as a stark reminder of how much time had passed and how much had changed. Havens described this visit as her first clue to the passage of time. As Lulu steps into the space she once inhabited, she immediately notices the discrepancies, but she tries to brush them off, even though she senses something isn't right. This visit is the first real indication that things are different, and it kicks off a journey for Lulu to piece together her past and understand the scope of what she's missed. However, it was the moment when Lulu saw her son, Rocco, that truly took her breath away. Havens described this scene as a soul-crushing, soul-shattering moment for Lulu. The pain of seeing her son all grown up, something she had no idea had happened during her coma, was both beautiful and heartbreaking. As a real-life mother, Havens drew upon her own experience of motherhood to bring this moment to life. Before filming these scenes, she kept a photo of her 11-year-old son close by to remind herself of how her character would remember her child, which helped her bring authenticity to the emotional reunion. The contrast between how she imagined Rocco's age and the reality of how much he had grown was a gut-wrenching realization for Lulu. It's a scene that emphasizes the depth of Lulu's internal struggle. Not only is she grappling with the loss of time in her own life, but she's also confronted with the emotional distance between herself and her son. In a single glance, she realizes how much she missed in the precious years of Rocco's life. This moment of recognition highlights the true emotional cost of Lulu's coma, time lost with her son, and an inability to experience his growth and milestones firsthand. For Lulu, it's not just about re-entering a world that's moved on without her, it's about facing the consequences of not being there for her family when they needed her. Lulu's journey is one of reclamation. She's not simply coming back to Port Charles to resume her old life. Instead, she's facing the reality that her life has evolved without her, and she must now navigate a landscape that feels as unfamiliar as it is painful. The road ahead for Lulu is not just about catching up, it's about finding her place again, coming to terms with the changes that have taken place in her absence, and deciding how to move forward in a life that's far from what she left behind. The emotional weight of her journey is palpable, and it promises to be a roller coaster of self-discovery and healing. Lulu's return to Port Charles is not just a physical awakening, but an emotional one that will have rippling effects on her future. It's clear that she's on a path toward understanding herself in a deeper way, and the journey ahead will be filled with moments of growth, regret, and perhaps even reconciliation. For now, though, her immediate focus is on processing the overwhelming changes in her life and figuring out where she fits into this new reality. As fans of General Hospital, we'll continue to watch as Lulu reclaims her life, one moment at a time.